Good morning, Junior 3. Please open your student book on lesson number 2 in chapter When Habitat Change and write with me date of today, 15 December 2020. All right, our new lesson with the title Vocabulary Organism. All right, we will fill out the graphic organizer. This is graphic organizer to record or to write what you learn about the new vocabulary word. This vocabulary word is called organism, and we will write this word instead of things. Before that, we say that living things. But after we know the living organism, so that we will said living organisms instead of living things. But we will say non-living things. All right, let's continue our lesson. Please write in definition what is the meaning of living organism. Living organism includes animal like lion, like dog, like cat, whatever, any example of animals, or plant, or one that is so small. All of these living organisms are so small we can't see them by our naked eye. Like what? Like, for example, coronavirus. We can see this virus with our eye, or we need something like a magnifying glass or even a microscope in order to see this virus. All right, so this virus or these two small living organisms need microscope in order to see them. I will use this word in a sentence. Animals, plants are living organisms. I will write that they can eat, having food, drink, having water, breathe air, remove and move on its own, can run, can hop and jump. Let's return your school book page on title Habitats at the Zoo. Write the date of today, 15 December 2020. Read the story and answer. When Rashad's family arrived at the Giza Zoo, we know that yesterday they went to the zoo by train and they watched some animals, okay? So that they will tell us about these animals. Okay, they firstly looked at the map of exhibits. Exhibits means representing or published map. This is map. Shows what are animals we will see in the zoo with Rashad's family. Number one, I want to see the chimpanzees. Chimpanzees are type of monkeys. So this is chimpanzees is a type of monkeys. Okay, we are learning about rainforests in school, and I would like to see an animal that lives there. Did you know that there are rainforests in Africa? We know that, Junior 3, our country is called what? Egypt. So we live inside Egypt. There are other areas or places outside Egypt called Africa. And And as we said, there are habitats inside Egypt and other habitats outside Egypt. All right, so this is the shape of rainforests. As we said, they have tall trees and almost rain every day. All right, I would like to see an animal that lives there in rainforest. Did you know that there are rainforests in Africa, as we said, the place outside Egypt? They are south of the Sahara Desert, said Rashad. What about the sea lions? Sea lions is another animal. Wanted to see them in the zoo. There is an exhibit of South American sea lions. South American, it is another place outside Egypt. And sea lions live in this place. I read that they live in the Pacific Ocean. We know that ocean is a great space covered with water, like huge sea. And sea lions live in these oceans. And that is far away from Egypt and sounds interesting. What the meaning of sounds seems? Said Yasmin. I know we have fennec foxes. This is the shape of fennec foxes in Egypt, but I have never seen one up close because we live in city and there is no fox we can see in a city. Let's see if they have a fennec fox. Exhibit 2, said Rashad mother. Yes, they do. The fox house is over here by the flamingos. So this is flamingos type of birds, added Rashad as he pointed, move his hand to one corner of the map. Oh, I have always wanted to see an Egyptian cobra. This is the shape of Egyptian cobra. This is a type of snake, very dangerous and can hurt and kill us. But only from very far away. We can see this cobra from very far away or behind a pane of glass. So, this cobra we must watch this animal far away from it or behind something because it may hurt us. Do you think there are cobras in other parts of the world? Wondered or asked Rashad's father. We can see all the different animals. I wonder means I asked how many animals we will see that don't live in habitats close to us. Let's keep track as we go. Keep track means let's discover what our animals we will find in the zoo. This is a map of the zoo, shows houses or different shelter of different animal, giraffe, elephant, camel, and other animals, rhino. And this is a map shows us what are animals found in this zoo. Please turn your page with the title Habitats. Please write the date of today, 15 December 2020. Read about the habitat assigned by your teacher, then on the following page, record or write what you learned. Firstly, outside Egypt, I want to say this. There are 4 types of habitat. Number 1 is polar habitat outside Egypt. Number 2, rainforest habitat. Number 3, grassland habitat. And number 4, wetland habitat. All right, let's see the first one, which is polar habitat. Okay, we will start with first habitat with us, which is polar habitat. Okay? No matter where you travel in the world, any place you go, you can find a habitat. Habitats in different places have very different weather. So habitat in different places have four differences: different weather, state of air, different plants, different animals, which are type of living organisms, and the different shape of lands. Read below to learn more about habitats around the world. We will start with the first subheading. So this is the main title is habitats, the subheading title which is polar habitat, and below it there is a section. A polar habitat is found near the north and the south poles. Where are north and south poles? Here is map of the world. There are two regions with the red. South, this is North Pole, and this is South Pole of the Earth. Okay, so it found near the North and South Poles. This habitat, as we see in the picture, could you see, it is very cold and windy, strong air. Some plants, let's see what are plants that can survive or still alive in polar habitat. These plants are like shrubs. Shrubs like this grow close to the ground. And moss. Moss that grows on rocks can survive or still alive. So, what are plants that can survive in polar habitat? Shrubs and moss. What are animals that can survive or still alive in polar habitat? Number one, sea lions. Number two, whales. Here is sea lion. This is a picture of sea lion. Number two, whales. This is whale. And can live in the cold water in polar region. Ice, as we said, ice with a white color cover large space or large area of land, as we see. Polar, also there are other animals rather than sea lions and some whales. Number three, polar bear. Could you see this polar bear? This is polar bear with a white fur. Arctic foxes, foxes with a white fur also. And penguins. We know that penguins are some of birds can live in snow and ice areas. Penguins do what? Walk in groups, and sleep on ice and swim in the water in order to find food. Because this penguin feed on fish, so it will find its food in the water. Let's see the second habitat, which is rainforest habitat. Rainforest habitats are filled with trees, as we see in the picture, and other plants, not trees only. Rain falls almost every day. Every day it's rainy. Rainforests located near the equator. If we see this red line moving or across the world, we will find the area around it with green. This area where rainforests grow. All right. All right. Located near the equator, where it is warm, the weather here is warm. Warm, and there are other animals. Let's see what are animals that can live and survive in our habitat rainforest. Okay. Number one, this forest is full of trees. What are animals can live on trees? Huh? Monkeys like spider monkeys. Okay, where is spider monkeys and macaws, which are a type of birds with colorful feathers. And there are also sloth, very lazy animal, move slowly and can climb trees. Gorilla, as we see in the picture, and there are other type of animals like amphibians. Amphibians, these animals can live sometimes on land and sometimes in the water, such as frogs. Many animals in the rainforest, as we see, really on trees. Really means live on trees to survive, to stay alive. Macaws and macaws. Yes, this is a picture of macaws. Spider monkeys, sloths live in trees and eat their budding leaves. Budding leaves means leaves on the trees and soft new branches. Large snakes. All right, large snakes can crawl. Crawl means move on the ground. This floor of this rainforest, dark, warm and wet, full of water because it rains almost every day. The rainforest is tall trees. As we see, there are many trees in this forest. These trees block sun rays from entering this jungle or the place. So what happened to other plants on the ground? Those other plants that can grow on the ground have big leaves. These plants, as we see, have big leaves. Why? In order to capture light. If any light enters to it, even it is few, it will capture it. Why? Because it needs light to stay alive. Let's see the third habitat with me is grassland habitat. As we see in the picture next to the section, we will find that there are many grasses that cover large land, a large area of land. Grassland are dry. Could you see any shape of rains here? No, dry. Flat areas of land, as we see, areas of land, and this have few trees, as we see in the picture, but mostly consists of tall grass and bushes. Bushes means little trees. Okay, where animals such as birds make their home. So birds here meet their needs from this habitat by taking long grass and bushes as a shelter or home for them. What are animals in this in grassland habitat? Prairie animal. Please highlight with me all of these types of animals and plants. Prairie dogs. Prairie dogs, this is the shape of prairie dogs. And those are animals and rabbits. Rabbits, similar to this animal, can dig. Dig, what's the meaning of dig? This prairie dog here, dig what? This is the ground, can dig, remove some sands, and to make tunnels under the ground in order to move inside it. So, prairie dog can dig burrows. Burrows means tunnels. Burrows means tunnels in the ground in order to find shelter. Lions and cheetah. Lions, we know the shape of lion, and this is shape of cheetah, the fattest animal ever after. lions and cheetah live in grassland habitat. So what are animals of grassland habitat? Lions and cheetah. And this cheetah hunt other animals like those animals, zebra and like prairie dogs. Grassland can be found all over the world, inside Egypt and outside Egypt. In a tropical grassland habitat. What's the meaning of tropical? We said that tropical before means warm. We said that tropical equal warm. Warm all year. In temperature grassland, the weather is warm in summer and cool in winter. Okay, the last habitat with me is wetland habitat. Wetland habitats are located where water and land meets. Often the land is covered in water, and this is such as in a swamp. Swamp is just as areas or shape of land in which water meets the land. Okay, the water here can be like seawater, salt water, or fresh water, or even water good for drinking. Many animals, let's see what are animals that can live in wetland habitat, like what? Turtles eat plants and animals that live in both water and land. Many plants that live in wetland either grow underwater, there are some plants, okay, or float. What's the meaning of float? Appears on surface. Could you see this float? Plants float. Please. Float means appear on surface. On top of water, wetland around the world can be warm or cool or have multiple seasons. All right, turn your next page in your lesson with the title Habitat Research. Please write the date of today, 15 December 2020. Record or write what you learned about assigned habitat in graphic organizer. We will choose our habitat, which is rainforest. Please write with me, rainforest. We will choose one from the previous 4 habitats. We will draw about living organisms. Living include what? Include animals and plants. What are animals? Macaws. Write with me, macaws, number 1. Number 2, spider monkeys. You may write only. If you like to draw, draw. Writing is a must. Please write names of animals. Macaws, spider monkeys. Number 3, sloths. Number 4, frogs. I can write also plants like what? Tall trees. Please write type of plants as a type of living organisms. What else? Yes, snake. Okay. We can also write non-living things like we can find some rocks. Rock can't eat, rock can't drink, rock can't move on its own. We will write about state of air or weather, which will be warm and rainy. The last page in our lesson, please open it and write date of today, 15 December 2020. Okay, we have Venn diagram. We had studied before in junior 2, and there are 2 circles. We will choose 2 habitats from 4 habitats we had studied together, and we will write what are differences and what are similarities between both. We will choose wetland and rainforest habitat. In wetland, let's see, could you remember? Yes, in wetland, plants float on surface. Plants float on top of water. What are animals? Turtles. What are weather? Multiple seasons. And we will compare between the other habitat, which is rain forest habitat with tall trees, plants, and other animals like amphibians, frogs, macaws, spider monkeys, gorilla, and other animals. Let's write the differences. Plant float on top of water, but rainforest has tall trees. Animals, turtle can live in it, but here spider monkeys, sloths, macaws, or animals can live in it. They both have common. We will write in this area common or similar properties. Many animals, wetland and rainforest have many animals and many plants live, and they have both warm weather with different. In rainforest, rain every day, but in wetland they have multiple seasons. State of weather. Thank you, Junior 3. I wish you got interested with your lesson. Please write all of these things in your school book. Thank you.